To the millions and millions of hustlers around the world and those inspiring to be, say this is the young King Whidbee, and the man next to me, the myth, the legend, that's the homie Jay Betts.
What's up with it?
And this is Life and Hustle. Cheers.
Jeez.
So what you been up to, bro?
Man, nothing. Just working on this clothing line and,
Okay.
doing our stuff.
Tell me a little bit about this clothing line you working on before we get into the show,
Shoot. If you don't know already, it's Go Get a Hustler's Clothing
Okay.
and apparel. But right now we're just, what they say, rebranding. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're going through a rebranding phase. Being inspired and motivated by your brand, you know what I'm saying? Free mind. We need to take a step back and see what, you know what I'm saying, get back to the basics, you know what I'm saying? The things that we liked, the things that we wanted. Let's stop moving too much on the consumer and start going back to what, you know what I'm saying, what we wanted. So right now we're just rebranding.
Okay, sounds like a plan. And then for those that are watching, as you can see, usually we do the split screen. That's the vibe that we on. But today, moving into season 2, we decided to link up and we're going to start doing a lot of episodes together. Dope spaces, dope content, a couple dope guests. So stay tuned for season 2. So let's get right into the show. You ready? What in the world? That's the name of this episode. So when you hear that title, what do you think about?
What's going on in our universe, man, our space, our surrounding, what's going on in our soil. So, yeah, that's what I think when I hear that.
Yeah, we're living in crazy times right now. You know that, right?
Sure. It's just getting crazier.
Yeah. A lot of people say it might be the end times, but they've been saying that for years. Even my grandmother said it. She said her mother said that. So I don't know,
Yeah, but, when it's the end, we never know.
We never know. So let's get into the first topic, sports. Is the fix in? Is it rigged? What do you think?
All sports?
All sports.
Man, I would say everything. I always tell people, just because I work in production and I work behind the scenes, but everything has a script. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I believe that it does have a script, so which would make it rigged, I would say. But I believe when it comes down to the players, they really playing, but they still have a what I'm saying? Yeah, a role that they have to play. So, if they say you got to lose, but you making millions, why not? Shit.
So what do you think? I don't know if you're into basketball, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about the Mavericks and how they got the number 1 seed after they got rid of Luka?
That was the play.
That's the play.
You know what I'm saying? Because they knew everybody was going to go to the Lakers and be like, oh, because Luka at the Lake, you know what I'm saying, the Lake show. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it was like you said, I think, like, you know what I'm saying, it was rigged for that to happen. So now they can, it's kind of like with the Brady thing. When Brady left, New England, it was just like, okay, let's see what you could do without him. Yeah. So now it shows that we didn't never need him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, before, I didn't think it was rigged, but then I watched the interview with Shaq, and he was saying that the commissioner at the time, he was like, I'm a big fan of yours. And he said, where do you want to play at? Do you want to play where it's cold, or do you want to play where it's warm? And then Shaq was like, I want to play where it's warm.
Yeah.
And then he said that he ended up in Orlando, and he didn't know he was going to Orlando. And I was like, yeah, it got to be rigged. But also, anything that you can bet on, the fix is in, because...
Yeah, definitely. It's like whoever has the biggest bag. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if I can get them to do what I want to, and all I got to do is give them an incentive,
right?
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
But the crazy thing about it, like, I'm a big wrestling fan. My mother watched wrestling. My grandmother watched wrestling. Her grandmother watched wrestling. Her mother watched wrestling. So it's like passed down from generations, But it's crazy how in today's world you can bet on wrestling, even though you know it's scripted and you know who's going to win, and people still bet. So it's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just now. It's just the person's entertainment, how bad they want it. Like, you know what I'm saying. But like you said, it's just betting on sports it's a sticky thing because somebody got to win.
Right.
But like you said, you don't know who's gonna win because right now they scripting it where the one that you least would thought that would win would win. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, it could be like Undertaker versus like, you know what I'm saying, somebody that no namer, like, you know what I'm saying,
right.
WCW or something, like, you know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
and you be like, they won, like, you know what I'm saying, crazy, like,
Exactly.
but like you said, it's just it's the odds now. It's all about money.
It's part of the game, you know. A lot of people think about life and hustle as yin and yang. And we focus a lot on the hustle because without the hustle, we wouldn't be able to live life. So that's why this episode, we're talking more about what's going on in life, how it affects us.
Definitely.
And the number one thing that's affecting us right now is politics. How does the current state of politics affect you?
Shit, really, it don't and it does.
Okay. And why you
I
say
guess, you know, that's, you know, double negative. But at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't because, shit, we always had to get it. We had, like, living in poverty, it was just like, you know, you had to do your thing. It didn't matter what the politics and what that was going on. Because at the end of the day, you was just going to have to be able to provide for yourself anyways. But when it comes down to the economy, as in, like, how much things are going to cost, the taxes, the you know what I'm saying, the job, you know, workforce,
Right.
like those things will definitely affect the community, because at the end of the day, if things go up, that means people got to work more,
Right.
which makes, you know what I'm saying, it's harder for you to be with your family. So yeah, it definitely hits for a lot of us. What
Right.
about you?
Right now, it's weighing heavy because, you know, I get a lot of my merchandise, my products, made overseas, and
Yeah, I didn't think about
they
that.
trying to tax me with the tariffs, and I'm like, you gave me a price before Trump got in office, so this is what I'm going with, and they keep saying no, we can't afford it, and I'm telling them that I'm not going to pay it. Either you want the money or you're not going to get the money. I can go somewhere else that's cheaper because I have manufacturers in China, manufacturers in Pakistan. Like, I'm good with my company as far as the products.
Yeah.
It's just that I like to work with certain people, and the crazy part about it is that they be getting so hostile and like agitated. So then I have to like curse them out with the translator because I only speak English and Spanish. So it's like, I know they be like, oh, I hate him.
Translator.
Yeah, and the best thing about that is that I don't have a profile picture up, so they don't even know what I look like, but I see their pictures. So it's like they can't play the game where I'm gonna give a price for this certain demographic or I'm gonna give a price for another demographic, because at the end of the day, if you get emotionally invested, you're getting upset at a blank screen. So it's like I'm talking business, I'm not talking about emotions. So that's the part where the policies that affect me. But it's also when it comes to like the new regulations that they're trying to do as far as like laws and immigration and getting rid of certain people, and how I always said this to my friends and family growing up, is like I wanted to be an ICE agent after I got out, and then when I went, they was like, this is what it's going to entail. You're going to break up families. You're going to have to put your moral compass on zero, that you're not going to care. And I was like, I can't do that, because when I was growing up, I got taken away from my mother, and I know how that feels. So when I see the news and people's like, yeah, they need to leave, blah, 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 but it's like, what happened to our humanity? Like, politics is like eating away at us, and people just don't understand it. So I felt like that's like, it's destroying our country. It's not the same no more. Like, we used to be the best in the world, and now other countries look at us as if we're bottom now. Like,
Yeah.
we're the
Yeah,
third world
nothing.
country. They don't care no more about us. So it's crazy.
With that being said, who do you think is the captain of the boat, Elon or Trump?
I think the captain of the boat is Elon, and the reason why I say that is because he knows that President Trump is money hungry. So any chance for him to increase his capital, he's going to take it. That's why if you look at a lot of things, people are paying to go to his golf course, his resorts. He's talking about building towers in other countries, and the Saudi Arabia, um, China is backing off from him. All these, all these big people that have power, not talk about money. Let's talk about power. They have power, and they know that Trump is about the money. Yeah, he'll say that it's about America. He wants to make America better than how it was. That's a good slogan. But then if you hurting it at the same time, how you making it better? It's always a saying that you gotta destroy and rebuild. But if you destroy and we can't come back, how can we ever rebuild? And I feel like Elon, he's all about technology. He's all about advancement of AI, robots, stuff like that. And he don't care because he's not from America. That's why he's always saying about South Africa. He's always talking about the world. And if he really cared about America, he wouldn't be like pushing this agenda. You have to think about when it comes to America, we, us citizens, we say USA, America number one. Them, they look at us as a business, a corporation. Mm-hmm. And that's why the stuff that they put in play, they don't care as long as they make money, as long as it generates, as long as it generates income for them and their stocks go up, they don't care. What do you think?
I believe it's not even about the money because all of them got money.
All of them.
I think it's just about, like you said, the power.
Yeah.
Like, the more that they get power and they have somebody else that they can make power plays with,
right,
then it's more lucrative to them because now they can rule in, you know what I'm saying, a whole, like I said, country or whatever it is that they trying to rule.
Right.
And right now it seems like something's coming or something's going to happen where, you know, they want to pretty much solidify, you know what I'm saying, and hold down what they got going on.
Exactly.
And be able to, you know, basically to further out their agenda. But I believe it's everybody. Everybody got something to do with it. Everybody. If you got some money and some power, then you definitely can get a seat at the table. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all of them. And until they put it out there, we ain't going to know what the hell they're trying to do.
I feel like back to the power play, America has been number one for so long. And now it's time for another superpower to take over. And that's why they like, if we fail, we fail. Well,
yeah.
So
definitely.
It's crazy. But speaking on technology, since we was talking about Elon Musk, do you feel like it's a benefit or it's going to affect us negatively in the future as far as technology?
Both. Okay. It's going to get better. When things get better, things get worse. So for the things that's going to get better, yeah, it's going to make, just like now where our phones make it easier to get around. Everybody got GPS, you know, all these things. But at the end of the day, too, now you got AI. So it's going to cripple and enable a lot of people from a lot of things because, you know, that's what they were used for. But now you got AI. You don't need that.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying, different things. And just from what they say, you know what I'm saying, when the Terminators come, you know what I'm saying, the robots start taking over, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, I believe it's going to get better, but it's going to get worse at the same time.
Yeah, I agree with you, because you got to think about, look at all the advancements we have made off of technology, but then look at all the steps we took back where education-wise, we're a lot dumber than how we used to be without the technology.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, like, when you ask somebody, what's the, you know, the capital of the United States, and they like, L.A., like, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
When you can't tell me how to get from point A without going to your phone, I'm just asking you where's the nearest store at so I can get a soda. It's like, what happened? As far as, like, medical wise, yes, I'm waiting for the time where they have like a screen where they could just X-ray your bones right then and there. You don't have to, you know, yeah. I want to see that type of stuff. Flying cars, I'm waiting for that. But as far as like everyday uses, as far as like cleaning your house, you let your Roomba do it. Like, come on, like.
Yeah. So when them things got better, they made a lot of just like. When they came with cell phones, you can't remember a damn number. But back in the day, man, you know, you remember all kind of numbers.
Right.
You know, so you had like 30 numbers in your head. You like boop, 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 and dial them things. Now, because you have a phone book in your damn phone, you don't remember no damn numbers. Right. You like, damn, like, you know. So, you know, when things got better, things got worse.
Of course.
it it like you just said, like, it pretty much just dumbed us down because now it made things easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, just like with cooking and all these things now, it's like you don't even have to cook no more.
Don't.
You got somebody, just a stranger, drop it off to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
But the crazy thing about it is that I don't know if you noticed that in news, Argentina, Puerto Rico, and I think Cuba, they had like blackouts where everything was completely off. Imagine how us as Americans, we have everything, and our power goes off. How it's going to be. I've been telling like a lot of coworkers. I don't know if you ever heard of the term zombie apocalypse.
oh yeah,
Man, whenever it happens, if it happens, like Resident Evil style, I'm waiting for my neighbors. I'm just, like, even if you come over here coughing, I'm like, oh, she turned into a zombie. Bow. Like, no.
yeah, but I think that's the one thing with people that live in a country like America, because it's so, for most people, it's typically safe. So they don't have to really um, worry about too much. But then you always have to assume, if something was to happen, well, are you safe? What are you gonna do? Do you have a safe route?
Right.
Do you have some kind of plan? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like most people, the average people, they don't have an even escape route, even if they have kids, let alone if they even have. Like you said, power go out, do you have a generator?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Things like this. Like, do you have flashlights? Do you have, a survival kit? Like, you know what I mean? Pretty much. And,
Okay. Yeah.
and a lot of people don't think like that. And they're not going to warn you, oh, yeah, there's a zombie apocalypse coming. Like, get ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when the COVID shit happened, everybody want to go run and get toilet paper.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you got to be ready for it. Like,
ready.
you never know what's going to happen. So if you, like, they used to tell me when I was coming, ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Exactly. But a lot of people, they get ready, but they still ain't ready. And so it's like, what do you do?
Definitely.
Yeah. So speaking on like the current mindset, racism, will it ever die?
No, somebody got to hate somebody.
Yeah, I hear you.
Got to blame somebody. Shit.
But it's just like crazy. Like back in the days, I understand like the mindset, like people was dumb. But it's like we're in 2025 and you still like mad over skin color. Like,
I believe it's sometimes it's more than skin color. Sometimes it's just
it goes back to
some people's experiences with the other race, or with another race. Some people just have to hate somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, I take that back. I think it might, like, only reason because everybody's kind of now mixed, multicultural.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, in a minute, it's gonna be like classism, or you know what I mean, just like material shit or whatever.
I feel like with racism, it goes back to the power. Us at the bottom, a lot of us don't care about that. You know, if you cool, you cool. If you bad, you bad. You stay over there. I'm not gonna F with you. But it's like I have a lot of white friends, and the only time I worry about color is if I say, yo, we're gonna take a trip to Brazil or go past the equator, and it's hot down there. So I'm like, that's the only time I'm worrying about skin color. Like, you need sunscreen. You're gonna burn, you know. And then just like how I told my girl, because she's from California, and I took her to New York. My blood is different than yours. It's thicker. So it's gonna be over there. I got my coat open. I'm like, yeah, it's good. She's dying. So it's like that's the only time. Yeah, that's the only time you gotta worry. So it's like the same life you live, it might be a little bit better than mine, or this life that I live might be better than yours. But at the end of the day, we all go through the same struggle. We all fighting to live. We all fighting to be happy. So it's like, come on. Just like I was just telling Roy the other day. I'm from New York City. I've never met people in rural countries or rural counties where they have nothing. They do farm life, stuff like that. And then when we get together, it's like a cultural clash. But then we find that bridge where it's like, oh yeah, he cool. I relate to him on that. So it's like we're at this point where you're mad. You're still mad. And it's like, if you need help, I'm gonna help you. You know, because why wouldn't I want you to make it, because I know if I help you, you're gonna help me. So it's
Definitely.
like I don't understand that. Like you would think that with the music, with everybody liking hip hop,
Man.
like everybody's the same now, but it's like we're stuck. I don't know why we're stuck.
Yeah, somebody got to divide.
Yeah,
That's really pretty much.
that's why I say the power.
So what the culture? What's the present day like? What's going on with the present time?
Present times, it's crazy. It's like running wild. Like Hulk Hogan said, running wild, brother. You know. But and that's another thing. That's why I say it's wild, because it's like growing up. Hulk Hogan was like the man. He was like, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and then he turned out to be racist. He's like, oh shoot, you know. And then like now you look at the kids, all they want to do is kill, kill, kill. You're like, that don't make you a man. That don't make you a killer. And I always say, there's a lot of people around the world that hate Americans. It's not if you're black, you're white, Spanish, Asian. They hate you because you're American. And if you want to kill, get on the plane and go over there. Don't be killing us, you know. So it don't make no sense. And then the fashion, like I'm gonna pay $15,000 for a shirt that has all holes and stains on it, like somebody was wiping their butt with it. Like it's crazy. Like what are you thinking about? What have you noticed about the culture now?
It's very it's reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like when it come down to it, like I said, it's like we hurting our own each other. Everything is about being accepted or trying to be flashy and all of it's all of acceptance. It's just an ego trip. But it's just like the children these days, they soft as hell. Like you know what I'm saying? You can't at these times you can't even say nothing. You can't base on nobody. You can't talk about nobody because you're gonna hurt their feelings. Like you know what I'm saying? Feelings are everything now, and it's okay for everything.
Right.
Like just anything. Like everybody's always like it's okay. It's not okay. Certain shit is not okay.
Not
like
okay.
and
All right, give me an example of something that's not okay. I got one for you.
What?
When a man, not even a man, when a boy, teenager, is talking about bound, 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 I'm gonna take you to Pound Town. Like what the hell? Why you growing up? Little Kim, we had Little Kim, Foxy Brown, Trina, right? And Little Kim said, "I used to be scared of now I throw to the right?" So we know how to censor ourselves. Why do you think these males? They think that's acceptable. That you
Man, that's to be honest with you, I was thinking that in my head, but I was trying to think of a way to say it that was appropriate. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like you know what I'm saying? That it ain't okay.
No,
like you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, and you got these teachers at school that will say it's okay, be yourself and be yourself. That ain't yourself.
No,
like you know what I'm saying? And most of it is because. People are influencing them to think that that's cool, and they get attention from that or something because that ain't cool to me.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you're stopping a whole legacies and creating a terrible structure of family. Like you know what I'm saying? Because nobody knows their role. Like you know what I'm saying?
Imagine you being 10 and you going to school saying I'm Wolverine, and your teacher say go ahead, you're Wolverine, and then you come to school with knives in your hand. Like looking stupid.
Yeah.
No,
you said it was okay. You said
okay.
I'm Wolverine.
Yeah, like no.
I can be whatever I identify as. Like you know what I'm saying?
Because growing up, I was like, I want to be a superhero. My teacher was like, man, shut up. You ain't no superhero. And I was like, okay.
It was just like when we was growing up, it was just more logical.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was just more straight up being real. It was just like, I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to tell you. It's like, you go ahead, baby. But at the end of the day, you ain't Superman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Superman. You can't stop in front of a car and think that you're going to still be, you know what I mean?
I knew two kids that thought they were Superman and tried to stop a moving bus. And they're not here today.
I know what I'm saying. Like, no matter how much you want to believe it, that don't make it true.
Exactly.
Like, you know. But there's a lot of stuff, just like how these, and don't get me wrong, we did it when we was growing up, but it's like these youngins got more access to guns now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, like, we had access when I was growing up, but it wasn't like that. It was like somebody gave you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but.
Not even just the guns, drugs too.
Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Somebody put you on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now it's just
Let me go to my
everywhere.
cabinet. Here you go.
They just getting long clips and all these bullets. Like, how y'all getting all these things? Like, just so easily, like, where you can't just, you know, hurt somebody out of just no point, no apparent reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, like, how things is very, very, like, very, very different. Like,
what do you think about the food? The food and the water.
The food even worse. Like, you know, back in the day, man, people got nourished off the food. Now it's just like, you don't know what's real or what's fake. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's drugged. Like,
you right about that. Exactly.
You don't know if it's real or fake, but you know for sure it got some chemicals in it. So it's like even the fruit, like we can't do nothing.
No,
like
can't. Nothing is good for us. Sometimes I'll be craving like ravioli, the Chef Boyardee stuff, and I go like to Vons, and then I will buy a can, and then I will open it up, and it'll be like soup. I'm like, what is this? Yeah. So now I shake the can, and if I hear like water, I'm like, I'm not even eating that. And then my girl was like, maybe that's the new recipe. And I told her, why would I want pasta soup? Like come on.
Ain't nothing to say no more. I remember we used to get the little Swiss rolls. Uh-huh. They don't taste the same no more. The little Debbie snacks, all of this shit, like, none of this shit tastes the same no more. Like,
nothing.
Pizza don't even taste the same no more.
So speaking of the kids, generational curse, do you think we let us down?
We let them down, or we let
us, meaning everybody down, not just the kids, the adults too. And before you answer, I'm gonna give you some feedback on that. Growing up, our parents, they was coming out of the civil rights era. And then before that, their parents was still dealing with racism. Now, when our parents came out of the civil rights era, the drug era happened, and that's the era we was born into. So now you look at the kids, who was raising them, who was teaching them right from wrong, when we were still trying to figure things out, because drugs messed up our world. And it's not just the black community, it messed up the white community too. Asian, Spanish, everything. It messed everything up. And they had no role models. So now, let me get your take.
Like, did we let them down?
Yeah.
When we failed them? I would say,
because remember, when you came up, you had people that looked out for you. OGs, whether uncles, cousins, big homies, they taught you right from wrong. So who's teaching them right from wrong?
I wouldn't say we let them down, per se, because it was all part of the agenda.
Okay.
Because the agenda was that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, when the one thing that hit harder than the crack era was the cell phone era.
Yep.
Because now the cell phones is out, and we got this technology and at our fingertips and internet. It makes it where there's no communication. We got this jack for communication, and we don't even communicate with people that we need to communicate with. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about it. It was just like, it's kind of hard to let someone down when you already getting set up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of us was already set up and made it like that. So, you know, then you got so okay, I'm at 8 hours at work. A lot of like at least 6 to 8 hours you're gonna be asleep. When do you really have time for family?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Then on top of it, you want to do your own thing, and then we got, you know, these cell phones. It's like, come on now, when you really gonna think that you're gonna have time to communicate? And this, you can communicate with a lot of people at one time. Right. But still, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, as if because we took the bait, then I could say, yeah, we let them down. But at the end of the day, this was the agenda. Like, you know what I'm saying, for us to like I said, yeah, it had some goods, some ups, but a lot of downs, because like I said, there's no communication. there's nothing you can fuck around and kill a lot of people with just one person for button off this motherfucker, like
Yeah.
all kind of shit. So it's like we took the bait. We failed ourselves as in just to not even convert to this.
Right. I would have to agree with you, and the reason why I say that technology did was the bait we took it, but then you also got to think about, like, I'm going to be 43, and my whole entire life was always about the the elders passing down their history,
Yeah,
and we don't pass down history.
yeah,
Like a lot of people,
true.
like even my son, he don't know nothing about Martin Luther King. Well, he's only 4, but I'm gonna tell him eventually. But it's like a lot of teenagers, they don't know about the past. They don't know about presidents. They don't know about our history. They don't even go outside the borders and learn about other cultures and like
Shit, just
grown.
go outside. Period.
Yeah, exactly. Like in New York, I always say it's the land of the immigrants. So of course we get influenced by the Spanish, the Caribbean, Russia, Europe. We get like we're all. That's why I say we're all the same. We always fighting for the same thing. So we all experience the same culture. We
Yeah.
always taught each other the same thing. So it's like now, like you said, because we gotta disconnect. We don't pass nothing down. We don't share nothing, and then eventually, we're just gonna be robots. It's like if I don't communicate with you and tell you about like there's areas called sundown towns you don't go to. That's why I don't mess with the South. And then you driving through the South and you get a flat. You trying to get gas or something. You're done. So it's like this is the type of stuff they don't pass.
Yeah.
And then it's like if you go to Japan and you like, oh, I want to try this, and they don't tell you that, oh, this fish is poison, and it's like we're just lost now. And that's why I say like we felt ourselves and the children coming up because it's like we don't care. We're so lost in partying. We're so lost in fashion. We're so lost in the hate. We're so lost in I only care about myself. Who cares about what's going on with your life? There's no
Yeah.
more community. So that's why I say we felt us.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you.
So ending off with survival mode. Is it time to prepare, or do you feel a need to prepare?
Well, for me personally, I always feel like there's a need because like I said, stay ready, don't gotta get ready. But hell yeah, I think that everybody should prepare for everything. Like have if you can have some emergency survival kit, like what I'm
Yeah.
saying, some exit, in plays or
Mhm.
whatever that you got to do because if things are meetup spots or what I mean,
Right.
anything. If something was go down and you're out and with your family, but yeah, like that's why I think that people that do have families and especially large families, they should all stay together anyways
Right.
because it'll make one thing less that you got to find your family and you can instill these methods. But definitely get prepared for everything. For you shit, hell, for tomorrow, if some shit was to go down. Like you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Right. I always tell everybody, you gotta prepare. You gotta be ready. Like right now, they talking about there's a volcano that can erupt in the Pacific and it's gonna mess up the West Coast. And then it's like if you're not even looking at like stuff that's going on in the news, stuff that they saying, that giving you hints. And then even with how they saying that if we have a crash in the economy, how you gonna eat? You already seen how things played off with COVID, and it's gonna be even worse. So like I always tell my girl, we got to get ready. Like how you said, the meal kits, know how to start fire. Like how you
Yeah,
said, where we
yeah.
gonna meet up. I think for me, that's the one thing that worries me because I don't want to be at work. And the next thing you know, like, oh, we shutting everything down, and I gotta make it from Coronado all the way to the border to get my children from daycare. So it's like you said, you gotta have a plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Like, look, get the kids. We meet up here, like, or, and it's so crazy because I like shit like that
Yeah.
though. Like,
Uh-huh.
I like to start a party. Like, I can camp. I got boots. Like, I'm ready. But I don't think like my kids will definitely be ready for that. How soft these kids is
Uh-huh.
these days.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got to sleep outside. Like,
Yeah.
but I think the hardest would be is just the protection,
Yeah.
protecting yourself because now you got your family. if they see smoke and you got a campfire, you out here got some fish, like, you know what I'm saying? Mama gonna try to come take your shit, and because you're gonna definitely bear arms and, or you know what I'm saying, and protect yourself and protect your family. So it's like that's where the zombie thing comes in, because it's not even just necessarily people with a disease and they're dead and walking, but these people are dead people walking because they want what you got. Like, you know what I'm saying, and you have something as invaluable as just food and shelter. That's gold.
True, you're right. I feel you gotta be ready. You gotta be prepared. You gotta understand that the mindset you had before, when it's time to survive, you gotta survive. And if you don't understand that it's game time, sudden death, you just gonna perish. So
Man, definitely.
yeah.
It said be eating or you gonna get ate.
So this was episode 4. What in the world? This is the homie Jay Betts. I'm Whidbee. Anything you want to leave off with?
Man, just take it day by day. Every day is a good day.
Of course. And with that being said, cheers.